Step one, wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Betty. I cover true crime. Oops, hold on, let me get over here. It's about to hit you guys with an ad. Let me skip that. We just got started. Why is it hitting with ads already? What the hell? The hell, YouTube? Just saying, what the hell? Why is that button so damn sticky? It's driving me nuts. My favorite button, the laughy button. Amelia, it's nice to see you. Melanie, good afternoon. Panda Bear's mom, I did get your email. Thank you so much. The Real Me Too, Deanna. Peggy, it's nice to see you. Did I say busy mama? I might not have, I might have. I'm not sure. Lisa B, always. Garnetta, it's nice to see you. Karen, good afternoon. Terry, oh, thank you so much. Miss Melanie saying happy Thursday. Betty, Delilah, Mods, chat, much love to BHB and prayers to whoever needs it. Amen to that. You guys rock. Oh, that's sweet. We do have a lot of prayers that need to go around. People are struggling. We've got my eyes. Whoa. Did I cover my eyes? I can't tell. Are those looking like I got no eyeballs? So much for me not wearing. So much for me adjusting the settings without the glasses. Anyways. We're not going to have a redo from this morning. I'm going to stop right there. You guys are just going to have demon eyes. Okay? You're going to have Bullhorn Betty demon eyes. We'll make another doll. Thank you so much, Melody. The Real Me Too. It's nice to see you, Riley's nanny. Hello. Who else do we have here, Mama? It's nice to see you. Good afternoon. And Karen's saying something about Sheriff Weatherford saying they saw Sebastian return home with KP. Yes, that's our understanding. That's what's been so perplexing in the case of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is the fact that Sebastian did go home with his mother. They have evidence that he returned back to the house with his mother, and it has a lot to go into why I really didn't entertain a lot of what was said at the Texas Roadhouse. I understand, but it wasn't just it. There was multiple sources that provided to me that Sebastian was seen at the house after the Texas Roadhouse. Not only just seen home. Let me just change these settings just a little bit. Let me get glasses on so I can make sure I don't have some weird, do. I gotta do. No. All right, folks. You guys won't be able to see it. Is it my eye? It sure the hell is. What the hell am I doing here? All right, let's try this. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got going on here. That's not cool. Okay, so I don't like this. I don't like the green screen settings in here. My light's just not working. I like them better in Office 2, personally. Anyways, it is what it is. I might end up taking this down and just making the whole thing and putting this, instead of this behind me, putting this over like, kind of like this kind of, format. I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh, sorry about that. I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll figure it out. Karen, it's nice to see you. Mama, I'll be Betty fan. Hey. Who else do we have? Karen, it's nice to see you. Crystal, hello. Gigi for life. It's nice to see you. Faye. Ooh, this just bounced all the way down to the bottom. I missed a whole bunch of people. Hold on, guys. Let me get back up here. I missed a bunch of people. So we are at Crystal. I see Kathy. Kathleen, it's nice to see you. Penny, hello, my love. Dee, it's nice to see you. Passion Flower. I said hi to Gigi. Joanne, it's nice to see you. Sabrina, it's nice to see you, my love. Just my girls, hello. Tap dancer Lizzie, hello. Ashley, it's nice to see you. Faye. Nanny Robin, it's nice to see you, love. What else do we have? Jelly Bean, it's nice to see you. Blue-eyed Brit, it's nice to see you. Haters, nice to see you all up in the chat. People in the bushes, hello, it's nice to see you. As I was saying, I'm Bullhorn Betty. This is the Bullhorn Betty Show. We've been covering true crime for several years now, and this is the case of Lilly and Jack Sullivan, and they're two siblings, which again defies logic because it's very uncommon that two siblings disappear together. And in this case, we have a situation where the siblings disappeared together. And the story and the behaviors of the mom and then the stepfather, which is right here, this is Daniel Martell, have us, kind of scratching our heads and wondering, is it possible that they know more? Is it possible that these children just wandered off? I think at this point, this juncture, the answer is no. I don't think that we believe that these children are in the woods at this point. I know that they're still saying some things. I just don't believe it, okay? A lot of things lead me to believe that way. They've had searches going on off and on for months. It has surfaced nothing but planted, okay? I want to repeat that, planted evidence, okay? So why is people planting evidence when children happen to wander off? Because the children didn't wander off. That's what it can lead us to believe. That's what that information tells the normal person. Logically, people that have children that have wandered off from their home don't plant evidence, within a half a mile of their home. People that are trying to throw off investigators, those type of people do those type of things. So it does have a level of foul play to this. I don't care if law enforcement has said it or not. They're still trying to do their investigation. Hey, blessed happy Nana. Peggy, it's nice to see you. The real me too. I'm not sure if I said hi to you or not, but hello. Ashlee, it's nice to see you. So we're going to be diving into this case, and I think we're going to be kind of talking about Malaya as well as Daniel Martell. We've seen Daniel Martell quite a bit in the news. Not so much with Malaya Brooks Murray. Malaya Brooks Murray is these children's mother, their biological mother. Daniel Martell that you see here, he's not related to them. He has just been with Malaya for about 3 years. Now, mind you, Jack just turned 5 years old, but when he went missing, he was 4 years old. So you can pretty much guarantee that he was around 1 year old when Daniel came into his life. So this would really be the only father figure this young boy knows, because his real dad, Cody Sullivan, when Malaya left his real dad, Cody wanted nothing to do with the children. Cody wanted nothing to do with Malaya Brooks Murray. And whether we agree with those decisions or not, that was the way things were. Okay? So Malaya Brooks Murray was the ultimate caregiver for these two young children. And they were young. Again, by the time she'd met Daniel Martell, Jack was 1 year old. Lilly, 3. I mean, you got basically two children probably. I mean, I would have to think Lily's in pull-ups, right? At 3 years old. So you got 1 to 3 years old. So you got children in diapers when Daniel comes into their life. Now, it sounds like they like to party. I don't know how true that is. I don't know if that's rumors. But in all fairness, Daniel does have all the hallmarks of addiction. Okay, he's got obviously some rotten teeth in the front. The gap. There's just a lot of things that let's be honest, if anybody's been out there or you're in the program or whatever, you can look at somebody and kind of tell what kind of life they've had, Occasionally we get it wrong. But for the most part, the same things. I mean, one of the things that you can almost guarantee with somebody that's on a lot of drugs is a lot of dental problems. Okay. It's just because I don't really know. I know math, it eats your body from the inside out. So I've always heard that the teeth look normal until they just fall out of the mouth or just break apart. I don't know. But I heard it's not, they don't get cavities on the outside. Their cavities are like, it's like, I don't know. That's what I've always heard. I've always heard that, you know, the math mouth, so to speak, was, you know, rotting from the outside, the inside of the tooth out, which again, that, I mean, if you, I can't imagine what the stuff's doing to people's bones if it's doing that on the inside of their teeth. So I'm just, that's all I'm saying. But that's what we hear that they're on. And so since Malaya has left Daniel, I've heard she's partied. We saw her friend Cheryl. We know that she went out to the beach. And while there hasn't been any other of those types of photos surface, I don't believe it means that she's kept this low profile. She just may have wisened up, and so may her friends. So I don't know whether it's true or not. Again, rumored at best, potentially. But what we're going to be talking about today is the fact that Malaya, she didn't have emotion. And she left within 36 hours of reporting the children missing. And she's never returned again. She blocked Daniel. She wants nothing to do with him. These things are red flags. Daniel's been trying to stay in the limelight because he wants to show that he's overly helpful, which is another red flag for me. Malaya leaving is a red flag. Daniel's over helping is a red flag. He was running around like a chicken with his head cut off the morning this was going on. It was too much. I can see and you know, it was just too much going on there. And I truly believe it was Daniel that planted the footprints or the boot prints and the pink blanket. I truly do. And I think he thought just somehow, because he was the only one moving about, and we've talked about that before, about how he was moving about. So without further ado, I want to get you guys to, we're gonna be here for just a little bit because of all these things that I do have.
We come back out and I went in to see Malaya again. I assumed she was in shock. She was very non-emotional.
That right there. If you guys were watching our show yesterday, we talked about this very specific statement that this is Belinda Gray. Belinda Gray is Cody Sullivan's mother. So this is grandma. This is biological dad's mother. Okay. Now, her and Malaya's relationship has, what's the word for it? Hey, Kimberly, it's nice to see you, love bug. YouTuber, hello. What's the word I'm looking for here? They kind of had a on again, off again. Have I said hi to you, Vicky? If I haven't, hey, hello, good afternoon. They had kind of an on again, off again relationship, and they were trying to keep things together because what our understanding is, let me just go through this. Some people may remember this, some people may not. So Malaya Brooks Murray was with Cody Sullivan, and it sounds like they were in quite the relationship because they didn't just have one child together, they had two children together in this relationship. And something happened. Now, we're not sure if it's postpartum depression, if it was some other type of things. You know, sometimes women have a tendency, especially when they're trying to grow up too quickly because they have home life problems, go out there and they end up running into the arms of somebody that's abusive. I'm not saying Cody is like that at all. I don't know the guy. I don't know his history. I know nothing. I'm not saying that at all. So I don't want people coming, hunting me down, you know, with the pitchfork. I'm just saying that typically people, because she's with Daniel, and we know Daniel is, very controlling and stuff like that. And I have to trust my instinct and think that, we just don't walk into a relationship like that. We kind of, one relationship kind of gets us off kilter, and then we think we're going into a better relationship, and we find out it's the same type of relationship, just a different person. You guys know what I'm talking about. Kara, it's nice to see a woman can be messed up. I mean, in all fairness, it's slightly, a little bit, yeah. Jenny, it's nice to see you. I hope you are doing well. And Donna, it's nice to see you. Welcome. I'm new at all of this, so I'm a slut. Oh, that's okay. Well, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. You just type in the chat, and the people typing back are people like me, except you get to see a camera. You guys don't get cameras out there. But we're happy that you're here learning about true crime. That's kind of what we're doing. We always try to bring up these cases. We always welcome new people learning about these cases and spreading these cases around, because at the end of the day, we never know what's going on with these kids. We don't know who really does have them. And I may think that a child is deceased and mommy and daddy did it. And we'll find out that it was, a Joe Blow down the road that kidnapped the kid, and shipped the kid to, some other place. And you never know. So it's just a way of getting information out, and we kind of dive in a lot deeper than most people. So we've got Kathy, and she says, in my opinion, she thinks Daniel is innocent. Yeah, I mean, there's always the possibility. I just think personally he's trying entirely too hard to convince people, and I can't imagine that Malaya could do something without his knowledge. I mean, not like this. I mean, this is two children. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of, you want to believe people, but in our business, we believe no one. It's hard. Like it really is. It's hard for us. Like, you got to really go out of your way to prove it. And right now, nobody can prove it. And there's one reason, and only one reason, Kathy, that I think Daniel isn't innocent. And it's because I truly believe he's the one that packed the 60-gallon bag with the blanket. There's only one he described on the Drunk Turkey show, there's only one hole in the bag. And it's right down there where the pink blanket was. And he said, this is a 60-gallon trash bag. Now, they have a child. Nobody is going to stick their hand into a garbage bag. Okay, I'm sorry. No stranger. When you have a child and you know that there might be a shitty diaper in that bag, I'm sorry. This is what makes me believe that he's up to his neck. Okay, because so whoever put that 60-gallon garbage bag out there that had the pink blanket in it, that they tore the pink blanket off and planted a half a mile down the street. Whoever put that out there is the one that knew where that pink blanket is, because he describes one singular hole in this bag, in this 60-gallon bag. So somebody had to know where that blanket was in that 60-gallon bag to only have one hole in, not a couple, not a tear. He described it looked like somebody put the fist through it and pulled it out and went and planted it. That's what he describes on the Drunk Turkey show. I'm just saying, he had an awful lot of information. He got a lot of details for stuff he shouldn't have had details for. That's all I'm saying. And he blurted that out all by himself. He sure did. He sure did. So that's one of the reasons. But I mean, I get it. We're all here just guessing. There's not really a right answer until we get to the courts, right? Until we know for a fact what all happened. I'm just going based off behaviors and psychology, because let's face it, how often do we have mothers leaving the scene of where their child, they didn't find deceased kids here, okay? These are children that are missing. These are children that are missing, and the mother leaves the scene and never comes back again. That's just... We got a lot of mamas here. That's all I'm saying. And I can tell you, my mamas are saying hell to the nah. They would never in their wildest dreams ever leave their children that are missing and never come back. That is just people just don't do that. I truly think he wanted kids found, but I think Malaya told someone about the blanket in the garbage, and she gave a piece, possibly to the stepsister, BF. Well, I heard Cheryl was on there too, and I think Cheryl was the one that ultimately found the pink blanket. I mean, I guess it's possible. Would Cheryl plant evidence for her best friend? Yeah, I think she would. I mean, I could see it being a possibility. Either way, I mean, whether it's Daniel or Malaya, I still don't see how Malaya could have gotten rid of the kids without Daniel. I mean, especially if Daniel's on math. He's up and down. He's all over the place. But I still don't believe that she could have left the property without his knowledge. I mean, and he was so at first trying to... Actually, since the beginning, he's always been trying to subtly throw shade on her. I don't know. I mean... There's only two sides, right? He's either it's a 50-50 here because he's either involved or he's not. That's really it. But I do appreciate your opinion, because I know if you have that opinion in here, there are other people that equally believe he's innocent. I don't know what to believe. I just think his behavior from the very beginning to this point has been highly suspect. I mean, outside of him checking boxes in certain areas, but everything he's done. In my opinion, especially like the interviews and stuff like that, again, just my opinion, have been self-serving. They were more self-preservation. They were more, convincing language, something like that. It just seemed like he was always trying to convince us that he's innocent instead of just talking about the kids and just trying to find the kids. Once the kids are found, all the chips will fall into place. So we got a couple other people that also believe he's innocent. And so I don't know if it's going to be hard for me to talk about that angle, honestly, his innocence, because I really don't believe it. And I truly, like, if you were up here talking about it, Car Acre, I think is what it's called. Oh, I think I did finally pronounce your name right, Car Acre. If I it's probably not that either. I'm sorry. I'm horrible with weird names. I'm so sorry. Is it Kara? Should I call you Kara? Should I call you Car Acre? What do you want me to call you? He's not emotionally intelligent. Maybe not, but I don't I don't like, even at the beginning, if you go back to my beginning stuff of this case, I was like, I didn't like, I acknowledged that he was hitting the check marks in the right spot. Okay, like he was there. He was trying to keep things at the beginning. This is all at the beginning. These are like the first few days that these children disappeared. Because remember, they called it in on May 2nd. By May 3rd, the afternoon of May 3rd, Malaya was gone. She just left Daniel holding the bag. So I have to imagine, just like any normal person, you just kind of jump in with both feet. My name is... Oh, good. Fanciti? But it's Liz. Okay. Well, Liz, that's nice to meet you. Hello. And then we just had a guy that seemed overly helpful. I don't like overly helpful. Overly helpful to me is as much of a red flag as, running away, right? Waking up one day and mom being gone and never, returning to the scene. Like, I can understand her being pissed off at Daniel or never wanting anything to do with Daniel again. But, at the end of the day, to just disappear and nobody sees you. You're not out there advocating for your own child. You're not out there, begging for people to look at your child. I mean, I looked at her Facebook. She took everything out. She doesn't even have a missing flyer on her Facebook. She's got some old photos of the children. nothing real recent. And she's not even actively on her Facebook telling people new updates about her children or anything remotely to keep to do what moms do. I've just never seen, except guilty moms, I've never seen anybody just run away and never return. I mean, it's about as bad as what Katie Proudfoot did when she wanted to go to, I don't even know where they went, whether this one was to, when she went to, Horn Lake, Mississippi, or when she went over to South Carolina for the bike fest. I'm not sure which it was, but she threw blankets outside of the house with food. Like Sebastian Rogers with a freaking dog. I mean, just insane shit. Weird for me how people behave and how people behave publicly and act like it's normal. This stuff is not normal. It's like, don't you guys have any self-respect at all? These people, I don't get it. But I digress. Let's listen to this because I find this, funny. We're going to go back. We're going to go back in time. This is a little bit longer. This is where we're going to spend the bulk of our time. But before we do, we're going to spend some time over here.
I didn't kill Lily and Jack.
It's been 6 weeks now since you've seen Lily and Jack. I just want to ask, how are you holding up?
It's been a long 6 weeks. I know that everybody basically in the world at this point is always wanting to know what happened. It's been from sadness to anger at this point. And I know the RCMP and major crimes are working around the clock trying to piece everything together. And I'm grateful for that. But it always leaves the question, 6 weeks has gone by. And we know at this point they're not in the woods. And where are they?
Did you feel in the beginning that they suspected you?
Of course. The stepfather was always a prime suspect right off the beginning.
You felt that from the beginning?
Yeah.
But you don't feel that now?
No, I don't feel that at all. I asked for the lie detector exam, the polygraph exam. I gave them my phone. I told them I do drug tests because there's a lot of rumors online about a drug party. Mm-hmm. I know.
A drug party, but he has acknowledged himself as being under substances, and he's also acknowledged just recently on the Drunk Turkey show, right, that he is actually undergoing substance abuse testing as part of his conditions to see his daughter Meadow. So usually, people that don't have drug addiction or past drug abuse or haven't come up, dirty, they're not, I don't know. They typically don't. Why am I freezing? Uh-oh. Are we back? It seemed like something froze up. I got a storm going on right now, so I was checking my internet, and it seemed like something froze up back here. I forget what I was even talking about because I froze up. I just froze. My whole camera, everything froze. But let's get back to this. We'll get back to whatever I was getting to. Is it my internet or do we keep freezing? Well, I only froze one time. My internet looks like it's excellent. I should have excellent. I think I have 500 megabits per second. That's upload and download speed where I'm at. But it did open studio. I don't know what happened, but we did get kicked out. Somehow. Uh-oh. Okay, well, it looks like, I don't know. It looks like we were having some issues, but I think we're okay. Let me make sure I can still move this. Okay, I can. So, Yeah, it did freeze for a second. Okay, so we're back. Anyways, let's get back to what we've got here. We've got a person that is trying to profess he's not on his substances, but again, typically you're not, like, for me, I haven't done substances 20 years, something like that, maybe, give or take a few years. So it's for me, it's a little different because if I were on like probation or had to see a child or had to go through, like, I would never be tested dirty. So there would be no reason for them to have to test me. I don't have a history of doing this, maybe when I was a teenager or in my early 20s, but I'm 46 years old. I don't see them putting me on random drug testing. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money is all I'm saying. But they're making him do that. So that means he has a history of drugs, recent history of drugs.
The person that said those rumors, and it was just to take the heat off themselves.
Was there any kind of party?
No.
Was there any kind of gathering that someone might have thought was a party?
No.
There were no people at the house?
No. Not the night before.
Okay, you mentioned you offered to take a polygraph test.
Yeah.
Did the RCMP take you up on that?
Yes, it did.
And how did that unfold?
That unfolded in my favor. They obviously know I wasn't lying about anything.
So they said, yep, great, thank you.
And I don't necessarily think that is accurate either. If you guys recall, him and Malaya both took a polygraph test, and so did Cody Sullivan. Now, Cody Sullivan, again, is the children's biological father that hasn't had anything to do with them, okay? And, oh, did I miss somebody? Hold on a second. I didn't realize there was somebody I saw. I knew, oh, thank you. Thank you, Vicky. I appreciate that. I didn't see that. I didn't see other stuff either. So, Betty, have you heard from the appellate court? I have not. I have not yet. In my opinion, I think Daniel is innocent. We did go over that, and that's good. And again, it is one of these things where, we don't have to parrot each other or agree. I believe there's something going on. I don't believe that they can be out there in the middle of nowhere and nobody know nothing. I'm sorry. The trailer has too many holes in the floor. Like, noise travels. Like, this whole I didn't hear nothing, didn't see nothing. I don't know. I just don't buy that crap. I really don't. And it's just hard to digest it because we have two children. Statistically, that doesn't happen. Logically, that doesn't happen. I know people are cheaty there, but the fake cry over weird because if you cry, you cry. You can't stop and talk normal. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, I agree. Once you start, you can also tell, like, when people are faking emotion, because emotion, in all fairness, comes naturally, right? It comes out of nowhere. If you've ever lost somebody very close to you and something happens and you're sitting there or a song comes on, you just burst out in tears. Tell me you can control that, right? So emotion is uncontrollable, inconsolable. When you lose somebody that you love or hurt, and it's unexpected, you are some type of way. If you do that to somebody, or for example, you walk into a room and you realize your children got a hold of some stuff that they shouldn't have gotten a hold of, and you're in panic. You're in panic because you're responsible. They got a hold of stuff that you shouldn't have had. It ultimately lost them their life. And now that. So you're in more of a panic mode than you're in a very remorseful or shocked mode. You're just trying to get in. You're in an oh shit syndrome. And if you don't know, it's like the oh shit factor. If you don't know what I talk about when I say the oh shit factor, it's when you don't mean to do something, but something goes too far and you're like, oh shit, what have I done? Because typically these things, aren't planned, despite what people, even a lot of people that are charged with first-degree murder. Some of the stuff is spontaneous, but they did have time to think and chose to continue to do it, like reloading the gun, right? That's that's a conscious effort. So they can usually get those types of things, but I don't know. I just feel that there's no way that these children statistically would have disappeared together. We heard that there was a possibility of a car being down the road. The children's sizes didn't match. The children's ages didn't match. We don't know that because the report came over a month after these children disappeared, that even the day itself could have been mistaken, right? I mean, think about it. You look back. Let me ask you, what were you doing a month ago? You see what I'm saying? You can say, oh, I think this happened on this day because I was doing this, and this, and I remember seeing it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's exactly how it went down, because you have to try to remember over a month previously. Drug accidents seems probably, but all phones and scenarios were analyzed by the police and nothing. I don't know. I don't agree with that. We don't know that. We've been doing this for a really long time. Police don't tell us nothing, okay? And I can tell you that they'll act like they don't have nothing and they got something. That's, I don't know where you've been doing I don't know. I mean, trust me, we've been dealing with law enforcement officers a long time, and I can tell you they don't come out when they're into an investigation like this. They don't come out and tell you squat. Nothing. They tell you zip. This is not just a missing person anymore. We got, major crimes involved. That means they are treating this case like a homicide. And when they're treating cases like a homicide, they have very strict protocols they must follow. And when they're following those protocols, and even though I'm from the States, I'm from the United States, I'm not from Canada. I don't know Canadian law. I have to say some of that law mimics our laws, because I could tell by the way that law enforcement was answering questions that they do a lot of the investigations similar as the United States do. And therefore, I have to assume that they also investigate, and their laws are that of a civilized nation. And if that's the case, then they're not going to release that information. I was pleasantly surprised when they did give an update, a report out to the world, that they did provide so much more detail. That was helpful, but I don't think it precluded Lilly and Jack. And I don't like, because we learned from Daniel how the test taking was done. I have a problem with the fact that they had to fly a polygraph person in, okay? That's the first red flag I have. That means they don't have a lot of people, therefore they don't have a lot of training. That's what I assume, okay? My assumptions could be wrong. The other thing is he's talked about, they asked him questions like, did you kill Lilly or Jack? And those are improper questions, okay? From everything I've learned from polygraph administrators, you can't commingle questions, okay? For example, the question needs to be asked, did you kill, or whatever the question is, did you kill Lilly? Let them answer, did you kill Jack? Do you know where Lilly is? Do you know where Jack is? Because you're by them commingling and putting Lilly and Jack together, if they died separately or they were moved separately, or one thing happened to one but the other thing happened to the other. For example, maybe one of the parents flew off the handle and hurt the child to death, and the other child witnessed it, and a day later was taken outside and gone. because they saw what they did. You see what I'm saying? So you can't assume that all these things happen to these children together. And so that was the first red flag that was apparent to me when they were doing this, when he was explaining this polygraph taking. I didn't like the questions that were being asked because I've always been told you can't commingle the questions together. You can't keep two things together. They all have to be separated. I remember them telling me that over and over again. So if you have two people you're asking about, you have to ask the question twice. One for the one person and one for the other person. You can't say, do you know where Lily and Jack are? You have to say, do you know where Lily, or a question, do you know where Lily is? Do you know where Jack is? You see that? So I already don't like the way the polygraph test was taken, but moreover, I don't like how the RCMP referred to these polygraph tests in that report. And what do I mean by that? And I can't remember verbatim what they said, but I will break it down for you. For example, Cody Sullivan, the children's biological father, when they referred to him and his polygraph, they said he passed his polygraph. It was very simple. Cody Sullivan passed his polygraph. No dispute, no word salad, very crisp, very clean statement. They did not make that same statement for Malaya or Daniel Martel. Their statement was something like, Malaya passed when asked direct questions. That to me is word salad. Why is that word salad? Because what is a polygraph test if not direct questions? So why did they say Cody passed his polygraph test, but Malaya passed when asked direct questions? You see what I'm saying? Why would they have to add that additional language? If she passed, no different than Cody. And they said something similar but different for Daniel. So they didn't pass. It sounds like they may have passed some questions, but it doesn't sound like they passed the test. It sounds like Cody Sullivan passed the test, because that was the only one that they said passed the test. There was no additional words. There were no additional language. There was none of that. There was none of that. So let's get it going on this, and then we got a little bit more.
Thank you. Come in for a polygraph test.
Yeah, it took a little while to set up. And
when did you do that test?
I don't know the exact date, but that would be at least 3 weeks ago, probably.
So roughly 3 weeks after the disappearance.
Yeah.
And I think most Canadians wouldn't have any idea what's involved with that. Can you describe the process? You go in and just tell us right from the start.
We go in, sit down in a big comfy chair, and they have multiple sensory pads. You have them underneath your forearms, you have them underneath your butt, and you have them underneath your feet with your shoes off. You have a sweat gland on one finger. You have a measuring instrument for blood flow that goes in and out of your hand. And you have a cuff on your arm for blood pressure to measure your pulse.
Were you nervous?
Yeah, I was extremely nervous. Especially with the first question they asked you, did you kill Lily and Jack?
See?
That was the first question they asked you.
Yeah.
That was an improper question. The very first question, did you kill Lily and Jack? What if they injured themselves and he just buried the bodies? Improper. What if he killed one and not the other? So it's improper. It's improper. I just don't see, I don't know. I don't like the questions. I really don't. I'm not an expert in polygraph taking, but I'm telling you, I've talked to a polygrapher before, and they were very, very, very specific. You cannot have compounded questions. They have to be very specific. Did you kill Lily? Did you kill Jack? Do you know where Lily is? Do you know where Jack is? Because what if he knows where one of them are, but not the other? What if he hid one and Malaya had to hide the other? I don't know. Don't know. Just don't like it.
Yeah.
What went through your mind when someone's asking you that question so point blank like that?
Your mind has a massive release of.
Liz, I don't think so. Not unless they release them. And I don't think, I mean, we heard a report, but we didn't get the list of questions. I believe he does say some of the questions asked more thoroughly on the Drunk Turkey show. If I remember, he listed a few questions more than the one that he listed here. So, but I don't think we have a list of the questions that were asked.
Chemicals, I guess you would call them. Just, it's like your stress levels just astronomically through the roof, and your body doesn't know what to do, because it's not every day the way you're hooked up to machines in an interrogation room where someone asks you questions like that.
What other kinds of questions did they ask you?
All the questions pertain to the death of Lilly and Jay. Are you accessory to the murder of Lilly and Jay? They were all.
So all of the questions assumed that the children are no longer alive?
Yeah.
There were no questions at all about, did you take them somewhere? Could
No.
they be somewhere?
See, that's
No.
improper too.
The police have done a number of polygraph tests. They've done 53 formal interviews. Do you know who these people are?
Yeah.
That's a lot of interviews.
It is a lot of interviews. A lot of them are my family, people that live in the area. And those interviews, typically, my interview was 4 hours. And a lot of the interviews from my family were 1-2 hours. So there's a lot of time taken up, and they ask detailed questions.
Do you know who else actually?
Well, the problem I have with this is we have kind of the similar details in this as we do in Sebastian Rogers' case. I mean, we have children that were clearly inside the home and have vanished without a trace. It is my understanding that law enforcement and the canines, well, they didn't pick up a scent. So I think we have a lot of similar details in that respect with this case of Lilly and Jack Sullivan. Like I said, there's something that just didn't bode right with this case out the gate, because we don't cover cases out of the country. This is the first case we've ever covered in Canada or in any other country for that matter. We don't cover other countries because we don't know. There's a lot that goes into the work that we do on these shows, and one of that is understanding the law, right? And understanding evidence and evidence collection and stuff like that, and understanding law enforcement's policies, practices, and procedures. We know that for the United States. We know the basics. When you start going into other countries, well, you know, we're a free nation. And even though there are civilized countries out there, they're still not free nations. They appear to be free, right? But they're owned by others. For example, look at Great Britain, right? We have kings and queens and princes and princesses and stuff like that. They try to, you know, they're very prideful of providing a good environment for their folks that live there. But let's face it, you know, it's not like us. You can be jailed in some of these civilized countries for for speech, freedom of speech. We're different. We have different laws. And so that's where the issue is. But I think that there are still very similar details and why this case kind of resonated with the public here in the United States, and why it's been wildly talked about over here in the United States, when we don't really do Canadian missing persons. We don't do Canadian crime. We don't. We have enough of our own right here in the United United States. We've got enough. I mean, we can literally have, I mean, up until lately, I'm very proud lately. Breaking news has been down quite a bit. I know we've got crime, but it hasn't been crime that's made, national media, and it hasn't been crime that has been so detrimental that it's breaking all on its own. So it's nice to see that everybody is starting, to get along a little bit, whoops. Hopefully I didn't knock anything out. Sorry, guys. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. I just hit my elbow, got my equipment. Anyways, let's get back.
Took a polygraph test?
I mean, I do, but I'm not going to say anything that's going to impede the investigation.
Okay. When did you find out the result of your test?
Immediately right after.
What did they say to you?
You did a good job, you passed.
And how did that feel?
Good.
And did you feel that there was any...
I don't, it's the, and this is where people don't understand. It's like the body language. It's the way he said it, it's how he smiled, it's how he lifted his eyes, it's how, he expressed this stuff. I'm not buying it. I don't hear people going, oh, you passed, woohoo, it's not that type of thing. And he kind of implies that it is in part. I mean, when you start getting through this, you'll get what I'm talking about.
Further suspicion on you after that point, or was that sort of conclusive?
No, that was really when I seen the turning point for it's starting to taper off with investigators.
Do you know if Malaya has taken one?
I don't know if I can say it, but I will anyway. Yes, she did take one.
Okay, she took one. Do you know the result?
No. RCP wouldn't let tell me I asked.
You said you feel like everyone in the world wants to know what happened to Lilly and Jack.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think this is getting so much attention?
Well, just the mysterious and nature of everything and how strange everything is.
So he even acknowledges this is strange. But this is a man. I think what I want to convey, and I hope that is conveyed to everybody watching at home, is this is a man that has lived with 2 little children. Okay, we're talking about he came into Jack's life at 1 year old. 1 year old, folks. This is somebody that, for all intents and purposes, is a father to this child and feels like a father based upon everything he said. No. Yet every time we see him on these shows, speaking to media, speaking to the drunk turkey, you never see him break down. You never see him upset. These were babies. These were babies. Listen, I tell you what, I have seen grown men drop to their knees over kids. Denise, broccoli, cheese, chicken, rice soup with garlic sticks. Oh my gosh, you're making me hungry. I have decided, because I've been stuffing my face since I stopped vaping so much that I gained like 15 pounds. Oh God, holy smokes. I've decided to go on another protein diet. I'm going on another protein diet. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, exactly. Thank you. I don't know. That's just, again, this has just been a tough, it's been a tough and complicated case. And, everybody knows this is strange, but it shouldn't be. I mean, children are walked off, allegedly. What we should have found is 2 children stuck in the woods, deceased. Okay, that's what we should have found. It shouldn't be rocket science. It shouldn't be an archaeology project, because when children are playing, they're on top of the ground. And when something happens, if they got bit by a rattlesnake and lost their life, they're going to perish on top of the ground. Where did they ultimately find, what's his name? Travis Decker, on top of the ground. Where do they find the kids? On top of the ground.
RCMP.
They've never found the kids.
You know, I mean, they have to keep a tight lip on everything, but there's a lot more that meets the eye with the case.
Thank you.
Is there something that you think the public doesn't know that you can share that you want the public to know?
That's a hard one because I don't want to impede the investigation in any way. It is still a missing persons investigation. It hasn't pivoted to any type of criminal investigation. But the kids were seen the day before. I know a lot of people didn't know that. I still see a lot of stuff online that...
See, this is what I'm talking about. I think this is a great example. You know, when we started out this show, I told you how I didn't think Daniel was, you know, the reasons why I don't trust Daniel. And one of the reasons is, one, he's overly helpful. And two, these cases are not, when we first saw him, okay, let me just break this down for you. Whenever he was out there looking for these children, he had photos of these children. He was showing photos of these children. All of these interviews he's doing, he has no photos of the children that he's showing people to say, hey, we're still looking for these children. It's always about telling his side of the story, trying to convince the public he had nothing to do with it. And granted, you're saying, well, everybody's accusing him of doing something. Yes, we are. But typically people that are looking for their missing loved one don't give a rat's ass what anybody's saying. They're going to be there with that paper in their hands saying, look, I don't give a rat's ass what you say about me. Think about me all you want. Here's the child. Here, we need these children brought home. You can say all the stuff about me that you want, but look at this photo. Have you seen this child? You know, we expect more because we know when people are emotional, they act out. They act emotional, right? But when people are guilty, they try to convince people that they're not. And so when I'm always listening to like parents or suspects or witnesses, I'm always listening to how they're speaking, what they're saying, the words that they're using. And are they trying to convince you? Or are they just telling you what they know and saw? And every time I hear him, every blessed time, he's no longer advocating for these two kids. He is always, always, always trying to get us to acknowledge his innocence. It's self-serving in my opinion. He's trying to convince us that he didn't do it. People that didn't do it, that know they didn't do it, aren't going to sit here and keep trying to convince people. You know, they're going to just get over it. You know, when people were attacking me, did you guys hear me keep trying to convince you I'm a good person? No, I just kept moving forward. You know, I figured eventually you guys will see me, right? Eventually you'll see my work. You won't hear the noise, you'll just see the work. Right? And so that's kind of this here. It's like, you know, you're not seeing, you're hearing, but you're not seeing. And that's the problem I have. He's too busy trying to convince us he's not doing enough to show us. So I don't know if I'm going to change my position on that. I really don't. You know, I really don't. So I just think that if he was still advocating for the children, he wouldn't let anything stop him from advocating for the children. But he's no longer advocating for the children. This is not advocation for the children. This is advocation for him.
The kids could have been missing for days. They were out of school for days. And they were seen in the Glasgow area on camera the day before this appearance in the afternoon.
Where was that?
I don't know if I can say that, but it was near the Highland Square Mall.
Was it with you?
It was with me, Malaya, and Meadow, and Lilly and Jack were there too.
And are the police?
And this was the Dollarama, of course. You know, we now know that it was the Dollarama that they were at. They called the kids in. I think the reason why the kids didn't go to school is because Malaya had Lilly had a black eye. She got another black eye. These kids are forever getting black eyes. It's amazing. One of the black eyes, he literally, Daniel said with a straight face that Jack walked into a doorknob. I don't even think Jack at the age of 4 is tall enough to hit the doorknob yet with his eye. It's insane.
Police aware of that?
The police were aware of that since.
Do they have that video?
Yes, they do. I also talked to my coworker in the parking lot as well, and he verified that with investigators as well. So for all the speculation, they were gone days ahead of time, or they were seen the afternoon on camera before the disappearance.
Why do you think the police are asking for video dating back, days before that?
Well, the reason for that is they want to see the traffic of the vehicles on the roads in the area, right? Maybe vehicles that were traveling that area a lot over the last few days prior to hand, or vehicles that weren't seen in the area, or vehicles that were seen in the area.
They've been pushing, and this is another big red flag to me, because a lot of parents that do terrible things to their kids or get rid of their kids, they always try to push this abduction, theory. Let me ask this. Let me throw it down in the chat. What am I going to say? Do you believe these two were abducted? All right, let's start the poll. Let me know what you think. We'll roll through this poll just a little bit. If you're in the chat, we have about 113 people. Don't forget to hit that like button for Bullhorn Betty. But if you have an opinion about whether you think these children had been abducted or not, because here's my issue. Just work with me here. We had law enforcement come out because these parents brought up abduction. Like the day that these children disappeared, almost instantly tells them that they would walk up to anybody, talk to anybody, basically implying that any car could just pull up to them, say, hey, get in, and they're going to get in. Okay. And there was no evidence of that. And law enforcement came out very, very quickly. And this is what surprised me. Law enforcement, the RCMP, came out very, very quickly and said, no, there's no abduction here. Period. None. So they knew something. They knew something very early on in this case. Run's DM's interview juxtaposed to Belinda Gray's interviews. Yeah, we could probably do that. But what really bothers me is that, when I hear Belinda, she makes so much sense, when she says she was out there, looking, because that was what I was getting to. And I think I got sidetracked and never finished my statement, is Belinda Gray. They had a falling out. We got into that conversation about Cody Sullivan and everything like that. Well, Belinda Gray and Malaya kind of had this falling out when she got with Daniel. They were still coming around. Belinda was still having a relationship. And then like 2.5 years ago or so, that stopped altogether. And obviously when the children went missing, she reaches out to Malaya, or Malaya reaches out to her. I think she said Malaya reached out to her to tell her that the children were missing. And, when she starts explaining some of the, and actually I don't think she starts explaining some of the text messages. I think she releases those text messages on social media. So we got our hands on them. And so we started reading those text messages, and I could tell you very, very instantly that they were very manipulative text messages about, the children must have gotten out. Somebody must, she was already painting the picture without having any information. And then you hear that Belinda goes out there to help with the search. These are her grandchildren. They're missing. Naturally, she's going to jump into, even though she hasn't seen them, she still loves, it's like anybody else. If you have distant family, sometimes you don't see them for years on end. Does it change the fact that you love them? Of course not. Of course not. If Uncle Joe you haven't seen in 20 years falls ill, you're going to rush out there to see Uncle Joe. you know? And so it's similar circumstance. She jumps into gear and gets out there and decides to help search whatever she can do to help. And then lo and behold, Malaya, asses out of there. She just leaves for no reason. They're giving like this briefing, and Malaya goes out to the ambulance and then just leaves and never returns again. And so Belinda's like, I stopped searching because when the mom left, clearly there's no reason to search. That told me all I needed to know. And it does. It does. And Belinda no longer believes those children are alive. I no longer believe those children are alive, but I didn't believe those children were alive to begin with. I think that they might be buried around there, to be honest with you. I don't think Malaya or Daniel had the ability to get off that Nova Scotia area, Lansdowne Station. I think the children are out there. I just think everybody was searching for children above the ground, and I don't think they're above the ground. But I do think they're out there somewhere. Just my personal opinion. I do believe there was somebody moving about either early that morning or late that night. There had to have been. And I truly do believe that Malaya or Daniel or both of them, something happened. I don't think it was in many of these cases, guys. It's not like premeditated like that. It's sometimes it's things just happen, right? Because you're living such a poor lifestyle. You're living such a dangerous stuff. You have dangerous substances. You have dangerous stuff. You're not anticipating hurting anybody. But things just happen when you're not living a savory lifestyle. When you're not living a savory lifestyle or you're way, way out there, your brain doesn't function properly, and you might do something that you wouldn't normally do. For example, you might fly off the handle. You might backhand your child so hard, not even realize how hard you hit them. Next thing you know, you're dealing with a very injured child. And there's nothing you can do. If you take them to the hospital, you're going to jail. If you don't take them to the hospital, something might happen to them. And so now you're hiding a body, So these things happen all the time, but I don't think these people ever woke up and said, hey, I want to be a murderer today. It's just a perfect storm and an unsavory lifestyle. And I think that that's what happened in this particular case. They're living an unsavory lifestyle, and their decisions caught up with them. And I'm not sure if I'm going to change my mind about that. I really am not. So we'll finish this up. We're going to go to this one. This is going to be tomorrow's show right here. We're going to be going over this right here. It's quite lengthy. I don't know how much we're going to go over. I've got to figure out where my stuff is in this, that presentation. I've already listened to it once. I just need to go back and get some, points of reference, and then we'll get to that. And we're going to be doing that tomorrow. If you guys would like to come back and learn some more. Well, let me say it like this. We're going to do our morning show, Bedhead Betty show, early morning. Whatever time I wake up, I'll brush my teeth and just turn the cameras on. And then it won't be that, because we just kind of talk about, stuff going on throughout the day. But it will be the normal show, I think, at 10.
Yeah, like local people that are, making frequent trips past the house, or which it's all considered evidence. I mean, the more pictures and videos is the better.
They say they have hundreds of hours of video. Mm-hmm. Do you know if they've found anything on those videos?
I think it was up to 2 weeks ago, they had footage that they examined for evidence that was 8 kilometers diameter out from the house. So that was after a month. That's how long it took to get footage and review it 8 kilometers out.
So it sounds like they did a radius. I think what I'm understanding here is they did a radius. So they were able to yeah. Betty's love. I'm a love machine. The radius, that 8 kilometers is a decent radius, but I definitely think they picked up on something. I do. I believe in law enforcement. Again, I'm not familiar too much with Canadian law enforcement and stuff like that, but I absolutely believe that they have a good understanding of what's going on, but I wish they would be able to tell us. I just don't think they have enough evidence. I think that's what the problem is in a lot of our cases, but it's a double-edged sword because they don't allow us. They don't give us enough to allow us to help them. They're so, it's just, and you can't talk common sense into some of these people that make these rules for law enforcement. They're just so used to doing everything the same way over and over again. They don't realize, as we expand and get things like social media where we can really get information out there and get a lot of leads coming in, it terrifies them. And it's just, it's a disservice to these cases. I will continue to always say that. It's a disservice to these cases.
So what's on the video?
I don't know. I'm only limited by what they tell me.
How often are they in touch?
So they didn't tell them what was on the video. They got 8 kilometers of video. So from radius around the house, which is pretty good. They have a good idea who was coming and going.
With you.
Investigators now, I'd say maybe once every 5 days. And usually I'm the one who calls or messages them.
And how's that changed over the course of the 6 weeks?
Well, from the beginning it was almost daily, tapering off to where it's only like once every 5 days now.
And how do you feel about that?
It's good and bad. I mean, I like to talk to them in person about any little small details I come up with or anything I can try to bring to their attention which may help the investigation. So I don't get to
see, I don't like it. It's like overly helpful, guiding the conversation. I don't like that. Those little details right there are red flags to me.
See them often, so it's always over phone or messaging, and it's hard to really convey what you want to say when you're not in person. But then I also know the eye's not on me. The investigators don't see me as part of the disappearance.
See, why did he have to say that? He's trying to convince us. He's a Chris Proudfoot in that respect. I don't like it. I just don't like it. I really don't.
You know that.
Well, when you're going from daily
not.
to tapering off every 5 days, I mean, I already gave them everything on my phone. I'm the one who originally said, here, take my phone. We'll go through all my banking information. We'll go through all my stuff on my GPS from Google.
And you were offering all that up right from the
beginning?
beginning.
I offered that.
So if he's offering all that up, just let me put this out there like this. If he's offering all that up to law enforcement immediately, then he would have thought about that. Say if he's, planting evidence or something, he would have known not to take his phone, right? If you're offering those things, not to do it. Just like he would know not to drive the car, to take the ATV. Why? Because the car has the infotainment center that will tell them where you are. The ATV will not. So I don't like a lot of the stuff. I really don't. I don't.
Everything.
And why were you doing that?
To show them that I want to get the investigation moving. I know I have nothing to do with any of it.
To show them I want to get the investigation moving. He wants to be involved and wants to be overly helpful because he's hopeful that they'll share details with him. I'm sorry, that's how I look at this.
A lot of speculation is you killed the kids. We'll just come out and say it straight as it is.
What do you think when you read that?
It's a lot of nonsense, obviously. I know.
Children are missing. He's accused of killing the kids. No emotion. Look at this man's face. no emotion, no anger, no love, no caring, no concern, no urgency, no grief. Nothing. Nothing. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay, folks? I don't know what to say. I don't like it.
The truth, I didn't kill Lilly and Jack. And I just think a lot of people online they're seeking drama. That's the main thing. Everybody's allowed their own opinion, like I said before, but it's hard on the people that were actually there and missing the children.
Well, it's hard on the people there that are actually missing the children, but we're not seeing anybody really missing children. Do you guys, the only person I've seen missing children is Belinda. I mean, if you really want me to be honest with you, I haven't seen anybody missing, not even the mother. The mother has showed zero, and I mean zero possibilities of missing her child. We have seen nothing out of the mother. She gives a flimsy statement months later saying she's still searching for her children when she's never got off her ass to search for her kids to begin with. She went to the beach. I don't think the children are at the blessed beach, but I digress. And then we have, Daniel Martell, which has been vocal. I mean, there's no dispute about that. He's been talking on with media since the beginning, even after Malaya left. But there has always been this back and forth between Malaya and Daniel, where they're both pointing the finger at each other. And when they're not pointing the finger at each other, their families and friends are subtly pointing the finger at each other. Remember, they're not in the spotlight anymore. But at the beginning of this case, they were on, that Crime and Shame or whatever the name of that channel is. And a lot of tea was spilled on that channel. And, you can't walk that back. Like, you know that there was, there was Team Malaya. You could clearly see Team Malaya and Team Martell. You know what I'm saying? Clearly see that. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it, in my opinion. But either way, guys, I digress. I love you guys. You guys have a great afternoon. I'll probably be back for another show this evening if I'm still up. I've got a lot of research to do. We still have this show. We've got so many cases going on right now that I'm trying to balance these. In one case there's nothing moving. In one case we can get updates in another case, but we've got a lot of cases that just aren't moving. We've got nothing to discuss in these cases. It's the same old stuff. Where are they? This is the case of Lilly and Jack Sullivan. Where are they? We don't know, and we're going to keep pushing for answers. So you guys rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. And if all of you guys can do me a great favor, even on the replay crew, as you're coming in or going out, always remember, hit that thumbs up button. I really do appreciate it. It means the world to me. If you would like to support this channel, you can do it by super thanks, super chat, super sticker. Or if you want to do a little bit more, we have monthly memberships where you can help support this channel on a monthly basis. You could do even more if you want 100% of those proceeds to come to us through Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. But more importantly, you coming here and giving that thumbs up is more than anything that you can do for this channel. So I do appreciate it. If you have not been getting the notifications and you have been a subscriber to this channel, please check your subscription, unsubscribe, resubscribe, or change your notifications to all so you make sure you don't miss any of the beautiful Bullhorn Betty content that we have and our talking points. So we will be back tomorrow to discuss more of the Lilly and Jack case to keep this case alive, along with our Ashlee Buzzard. Thank you for reminding me to do the poll. So we've got the poll here. Give me a second. It says, do we believe these two were abducted? And we have only 88%, huge majority, says, hell to the nah. Something else happened. Something else happened to these children. Thank you guys for participating in that poll. I do appreciate it. It's nice to see you, Mama Bear, up in the chat. Donna, it's nice to see you. I'm glad you came over here. I'm glad you're getting acquainted with the chat. The people in the blue with the wrenches, you can always speak to them and ask them any questions. Those are my moderators. They're here always to help and bring some love to the chat and make sure that you guys can have a safe place and a safe space to convey what you guys would like to convey. The only rules of this chat is to be kind to one another. You can have any of your opinions you want, and sometimes we do have a heated discussion. So we try to, some of these things are emotional, but for the most part, we like to debate issues here. We don't like to debate the people. Occasionally, I get a little, but it's my show, so I can, you know how it goes. If I can cry if I want to. What can I say? It's my show. It can be bullshit. I'm just saying. The trolls went down 2%. I love that. Carol, it's nice to see you. Musafer, hello. Sorry, was busy watching his face rather than chatting. Oh, well, yeah, I get it. That's good. That's what we like. We like looking at people. I just don't trust them. I think we got a problem here in this case. And I think mommy and daddy, because, he's pretty much the only daddy they know. I think mommy and daddy know more. And I don't know if I'm going to get off that. And I appreciate everybody that came over here and gave their opinion, especially the ones that believe he's innocent. Make sure you guys convey those, that stuff in the chat, because it's going to be a great talking point. And maybe it's something, as I read it, maybe I'll get on board with. But right now, I'm just not. I don't like him. I don't like the way he's talking. I don't like, there's just too many red flags for Bullhorn Betty with Daniel Martell. But I do appreciate everybody coming by and saying hi and conveying their opinion on this case. We're going to continue to talk about it as we advocate for these two young children to be found in Canada. This is not going to be a case that I will ever be able to go and do in person or boots on the ground from, because it's in another country. But we can definitely try to keep it alive and try to keep as much information and attention as much as possible on these two little children as we learn more information. But it sounds like there were some, massive searches and some mistakes law enforcement did that might have caused, this from being solved sooner. And I think I forgot who it was that put it in the chat, but waiting to bring cadaver dogs out there, 5 months to bring cadaver dogs out there. What were they thinking? They already had people trampling all over the area out there before they brought the scent dogs in. The scent dogs came in like 24 hours after, like everything. They didn't get stuff there on time. They weren't, thinking about this. There were mistakes that were made, which happen. You have to do what you have to do when you're working these cases, especially when you're limited on resources. It sounds like this was in a very peculiar area of Canada where there's just not a lot of resources. It's in the middle, 20 minutes from just about everything. Those things can pose problems. So, well, we try to be fair, but sometimes, things are just a day late and a dollar short. It seems like that's going to be the case here. And we may never know what happens to these children, until, God forbid, in 15 or 20 years, somebody's building a house and they, all of a sudden, bones unearthed. That's kind of how I feel like some of these things are going to go. How do they get rid of their garbage? Do they have a centralized place like a dumpster? Because we know how these people like to put these young kids in dumpsters these days. Is it possible? They didn't even check the trail cameras until later on in this case. People just, it's hard because, these kids are reported as missing. These people need to understand parents lie. And it seems like that's one of the hardest things to get law enforcement to understand. The people that look the most innocent will lie to your face when they need to cover their ass. And anyways, all right, guys, rock it out with the coffee beans out. We'll chat soon. It's 4:00 now. If I do come back, it's going to be around 8 or 9. But I think that's when Chris, from the Mob Crew goes live. I've been watching his stuff because he's been talking about Sebastian Rogers' case. Sebastian Rogers' case, for me, the technical stuff's done and over with. I did my trip out there. I've already made my conclusion about the case. I've already reported just about every bit of findings that we can. We do need to keep his name out there, but to what extent? We haven't heard really from anybody, I mean, like, in all fairness, we have at night and Dog still making some statements. We have, Chris with the Mob Crew and Jay with Crime Time. We still have some that are still running the story, but it's just not enough to keep this alive. I feel like, and some additional information, but we haven't even seen Dad. We haven't seen his national spokesperson. We haven't seen a whole lot of people. So I'm hoping that we can, at least get somebody to give us an update or, give us something to talk about so we can kind of reinvigorate the case of Sebastian Rogers. If you guys have a perspective, please, by all means, we have the Justice for Sebastian Rogers discussion group. You can always send me emails at bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Are you guys seeing something? Is there some aspect of the case we can discuss? That would be really beneficial. And in these other cases, if you guys find some questions you have about another case that we're covering, send me the questions, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. We'll see if we can look up some of the answers and get you guys some of your, if you guys, don't know and you want to know, well, we can look it up. We can find that information about it. So anyways, guys, we'll chat soon. Have a great evening.